Welcome back to second part of this video, building a filterable list with pure vanilla JavaScript. So let's just get writing. In the first part, we've actually created this. We've populated this button based on the category. So we want to generate like all this list now, and of course we want it that we can filter them based on different stuff, like a different category. At least at this point, you can build like multiple filters at one point. I don't know, maybe I can do more video about that at one point. So let's just get right in. So I wanted to start by making it easy enough, so explaining what we are supposed to do. Ideally, I want that when this website load first, I want the whole list, right? And the second time also is like when I call each button, I also want that I can filter. So you remember we created this at the beginning. So, and this time data is what we are going to be using at this time. So to make our life easier, let's just create a function so that we can use it over again, because we need the same list. I mean, every time we just have to show different thing based on our request, if it is all, if it is a different category. So I'm going to call it function items generator. And of course, we can just like say data or anything you want to call it, it's fine. Then what do we want to do? So we just want to like build this kind of this card or this item, you can call it anyone you want to call it. So I'll just say the entire item, of course, cost items, and that's gonna be like the temporary data, or you just call it like, let's just call it temp data, because with temp data is because it changes every time. So sometimes this data is another data. So I want to map through it, just like I explained in the first video. Mapping is just transforming the look. Here we only requested for the category. Here we need most of the image. Remember from the data itself, it was something like this. So it has the image, the name, the price, and everything. So that's what we are trying to do. So it's going to be, of course, an item again. And before you know it, so I want to only return just like we did in the first part. So I think I will just copy this one now. And then just to make your life easier and also my life easier, we don't have to type all this. I'm going to explain everything, don't worry. So I think we don't need this, something broke. Let's see what is the problem. Okay, there we go. So, but this is our own, this is what we are building. So let's just continue. So if I just load this now, nothing's gonna happen. But let's see. Let's console.log and see how this actually looks like. But then before we even console.log it, remember we queried this container. So let's put it inside the list container. And I will just say list container dot inner HTML, just like we did for the button, and that's going to be the items. Dot join, of course, if you can put it here, so that you don't have the where comma everywhere. And now let's console.log it and see what is there. Items generator. Your console is your best friend as a developer. Yeah, of course, because we did not actually call it. So we have to call it, and we have to also pass the data to it. The data is temp data, because it actually requested the data. So it's saying undefined. Why is it undefined? It's actually populating, but it's returning undefined. Yeah, because of course we don't have an explicit return, so that's fine. But if you want to see it, you can easily just console.log list container itself and see what is inside it. But as you can see, it works already. So I just want to show you. Is not a function. Temp data dot map. So let's see, why is it not a function? Of course, this is not a function. So it's temp data here. Then you can easily console.log list container. So I think we should have something now. And there we have it. So now there's really nothing inside because we've not actually populated it. And remember I said that when we start, I want to populate this. So how do you do that? It's very easy. There's something we call DOM contents loaded. So you just write document dot add event listener. Now this is DOM content loaded. And what do I want to do? I just want to call the function, and that's it. Call by function items generator item data. And there we go. Now we have it. But then that's not the end, because if we click this, nothing happens. So now let's try to make that also to work. Now how do we do that? It's very easy. So first we have to select all the buttons. All these buttons. Then we want to listen to a click event. So let's just get right in. So we say const button items, and that's going to be the button container itself. Remember, we've created this button container dot query selector all, because everything now is like a siblings, is children to this button container, and is .btn. I will show you why it is .btn, because we call it btn here. So now that we have that, it's easy enough. So we can just run a for each on it. So button item dot for each, and of course each one is a button. Then after that, on each button we want to do something. We want to listen to an event, and that is a click, right? Then after listening to a click, then we want to run a function. And with this function, we are going to check what we are clicking. Is it all, or is it like a specific item? So let's just continue. So I can say if button dot test content, if that is equals to all, then what should we do? Should now send the dem data itself to be equals to the data. Remember, this data at the beginning, the one we got, because of course that's what we want to render, and that is supposed to be the old list. Then we can just call our items generator, and we pass the temps data, and there you go. So if we click this, you might not really see any difference, but it's when we run the other way, we're going to see the difference more. Otherwise, we check what is the test content, and we filter based on the category, and that is very easy to do. So we now set the temp data to be equals to the data. Now dot this entire data that we got at the beginning, filtering based on the item category. Item dot category, that equals to the button dot test content. Now this is okay, but just to be able to make sure that, because imagine now maybe you get a data that has capital letter here, see some are capital letter, some are small letter, you've done some transformation. So it's always very good to make sure that at least you do some nice formatting. So to do that, just make sure that you try to convert it to a lowercase. To lowercase, you can compare without any problem. To lowercase. Then at the same time, you just want to run this function again. But now it's not just using the same temporary data here, but it's the temporary data that we've actually filtered based on the text content if it is equal to the category. So let's try it now. Let's see if it works. And there you go. And there you have it. And if you really want to be very sure, you can just like, let me see, I think, yeah, I also added this category here, because here Vim is Vim, Vim is Vim, orange is orange, as we see, blendy is blendy, and this is this. And of course, if you want to change the selected, you can also do that if you want. That will be some CSS and stuff like that. So that is quite easy enough to do, but I'm not going to do that in this video. And then that's it. Thank you for joining me. And then I just quickly had this one. You can also this for yourself. This is just some developer stuff, and we just put it here, and that should be fine enough. And there you go. So developed by, why is it not coming fully? So let me see what is happening there. You don't have to see these parts, but if you want, you can stay hang by, no problem. Okay, this is working, but not this one. Okay. Yes, because we've not actually selected it. So I just come here and select it. And there you go. And that's it. So there you have it. You have your JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript based filterable list is ready to be used for your next project. And thank you for joining me, and have a good time. Bye. Remember to subscribe, remember to share, remember to like, and just let's keep learning.